Is it?
You want to go hold, Judge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, the third. This is a work session. We all have the minutes from July 18, Administrative Appeal Public Hearing minutes. We have July 18, 23 millage rate and T-SPLOS Public Hearing minutes, the July 18 regular meeting minutes, and July 25th T-SPLOS Public Hearing minutes. If everyone hopefully had an opportunity to review. Are there any corrections or concerns?
Yes, I found one. It was just another typo. It's the Administrative Appeal Public Hearing. It said the last paragraph, second sentence, or second, it says set aside to not he held, it should be held. The appellant is requesting the LDP decision to set aside and to not he held. It says he held, and it should be held. Okay.
It wasn't me for once. It wasn't me for once.
He's rubbing off on me. That's all.
Okay, no other corrections. Is it appropriate to approve all minutes as corrected? Okay, so do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the correction.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? It's unanimous. Next thing is reports. Everyone hopefully has a financial department report, police department report, and the public works department did not have time to furnish one, but promised to have it for the August 15 meeting. They've done quite a few major water issues. One at Wise Court, they're moving one down at where that new apartment place is by Winder Housing Authority, and that one is a couple of day project plus all the other things they've got going on.
Mayor, I'd like to make a comment.
Okay.
As far as the Public Works Department goes, recently we had a lot of trees with this storm that came in. A lot of trees that blew across the road, and it was a little chaotic for some of us. We were getting phone calls and texts and so forth. And I just wanted to publicly say I appreciate the work that Jordan, and I didn't catch the other guy's name, I don't know him, but they came out. Jimmy came out immediately with their the tractor and the chainsaws to help us get these trees off the road before it got dark. They even went so far to check just across the city line, and we got reports of trees down there because the county was just so slammed with trees down. These guys stayed out at night to get this done. And the next day, they busted it to get the trees cut up in smaller pieces when they ran out of time the previous night. But the point is, I got them off the road, so it wasn't an issue for public safety. And the next day, they got out there, cleaned it up, and I didn't hear anything but good comments about them. And I appreciate their work that they did. I also appreciate the police department blocking off the roads when we thought we had down power lines and helping out on 211 and so forth. So everybody did a great job.
Yeah, I'd like to follow up with that too. They did an awesome job. They even got a phone call from Jordan, asking if I knew anything else that needed to be done, before his crew left. So, I'd also like to say thank you to them also for their hard work.
All right, I'll pass that on. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Oh,
I'd like to say Scott was not there.
so the police department reported 38 instances, 5 accidents, 23 arrests, 184 traffic stops, and 54 reports. They did 279 business checks and 186 neighborhood checks. Again, we appreciate the 24/7 coverage of our police department and hope that it continues in a good light. Is there any questions for Rachel as far as the financial report? She did a accounting balance. I guess Aisha did the accounting balance with her assistance. Haven't had one for a couple of months, but I think we're coming out of some of the chaotic time. So that gives you a snapshot of what is going on, and something that we did remedy back early in the year was we've got a lot of our accounts converted over to interest, but Aisha pointed out it's the utility fund, correct? Which is our largest fund, and it is not collecting interest, so we will be reaching out to Banco ZK, and I'm going to give that duty to Rachel, and if she has issues, I'm sure we'll get to the bottom of it, but an account that size should definitely be working for the city. So,
Rachel, thank you for that presentation on the taxes. I know that wasn't something easy to do, and but I appreciate it.
At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to amend the agenda for adding a discussion on Bates Carter contract as item number 2.
I'll make the motion to add it.
As a second? Okay, all those in favor? All right. I'd also ask for an amendment to the agenda to add an executive session for personnel matters.
Motion to add executive session for personnel matters to the agenda.
Okay, all those in favor? Okay. Okay, back to the agenda. The first item on the list is the ARPA funds. This is for discussion on project funds will go towards. This was asked about earlier in the year, and I believe we have until December 31st to make some type of commitment. The funds have been, for lack of better words, generalized.
We have fund segregated, and the ruling says that you do need to submit funds actually on the 31st, but they advise you to set aside those funds as soon as you identify projects for the segregation.
Mayor, I know we've kind of briefly discussed this, and nobody's really got any project. We don't know cost. I was thinking that we had to assign the project before the end of 2023, and then I was under the impression we had to complete it by the end of 2024. Without having some idea of cost, it's hard to say where we want to start, but it's also kind of hard to get cost if we don't know where we want to start. I know in the past, I've talked with Jordan several times about the oldest pipes are feeding Statham Elementary School. I would like the council to at least consider using these funds to start replacing the water or sewer pipes, whichever ones need it or both need it. Start with that school first and just see how far the money goes. I don't know what anybody else's thoughts are on these funds, but I'd love to hear them.
I agree with you. I mean, I know we have asked, Jordan to put together a list of what he felt was gonna, the most important ones that we could afford right now to get done. So, I know he's probably been busy with other stuff, and so I think we gotta have a start in place. So I agree with you about the oldest pipes.
Have we had anybody come out and evaluate, the sewer as to what's the worst versus, where we start? Have we put that into a plan, or has Jordan done that?
I don't know of anything personally. I'm just referring to the conversation we've had in passing of, the oldest. And again, the whole reason why I asked to bring this up for discussion was I was under the impression that we were in a really big time crunch. And truly, we still are, because, a year and 5 months' time is not a lot of time. So we got to pick something and kind of move forward with it.
Well, I know it's a known fact that the oldest is going 6th Street from Railroad to Broad, all the way down Broad and down Jefferson as the oldest as far as sewer. I'm going to have to ask for funds to be released, because we'll need to bring in a company that can camera. My understanding is it's about, they have a minimum of something like $1,800 just to show up, and then it's $1,200 for so many feet. And of course, the longer the distance, the better price they give the city. So they're going to have to do the studies. Now, we've had studies done in the past by EMI, based on reports that have been published, so they know that. But as far as to figure out exactly what kind of lines that are in there, whether it's terracotta or it's the casing, it's metal pipe, I can't remember the exact term, it'll have to be scoped with a camera. So I can have Jordan reach out and get a price for the council and see what it would cost for that length of, say,
I wouldn't have a problem
6th to Jefferson.
with doing, a scope, that at least then we can have a better idea of what's in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's kind of like anything else. The longer it's in the ground, or the longer you drive a car, the more likely it is to break down versus something newer. So, and then the school with the kids there, to me, that's kind of a critical thing. If you are 6th Street or 2nd Street, whatever, however far it gets, whichever is the oldest pipes from that school going out, that's where I would like to see this money spent.
I'll get him to try to put something together. We are currently short 2 people on street department. So Jordan spends probably as much time in the ditch as he does as the other guys do.
I saw him in the ditch the other day, down
Yeah.
Atlanta Highway.
He won't ask anybody to do something he's not willing to do himself. So, but we can find out about that. Do we need to kind of have a project list that we just, for right now, we say improvements on the Broad Street infrastructure?
As general as water and sewer infrastructure, and, you know, and even, I believe, and Joe may weigh in on this, you can identify those streets, but I don't know that I'd be so specific about the areas of those streets, right?
So it can be that broad and just say use this water and sewage?
Okay, so improvements of water and sewer
Yeah.
infrastructure.
The problem Gary had mentioned earlier, which is you get half of it done when you run out, you only got to identify the specific half.
Yeah, okay.
So,
But Mayor, I would still like for us to consider releasing funds to scope those areas.
do what? Release funds?
Releasing the funds to scope those,
Okay.
the oldest areas.
Let me get a price and see where it comes in. If it's something that's, you know, under 5,000, I have the discretion, but if it's under 25, but over 5, then I'll get a report from Jordan. So, any other questions or comments about the ARPA funds?
No.
Okay. Well, then moving on to new business, this is something that everyone has had on their mind at one point or another. Did you do a small presentation for this?
I intended to speak on the demo, so the memo is included in your packet, and I'm going to use that as my presentation material.
Okay, so this is on the 2012 series bond, a discussion of early payoff, which I know has been on a wish list of many council members. So, let me get to that, and now way I can follow along with you. So, yeah,
We should have ordered some pizza or something.
I don't know why you didn't. You put it on Shannon's bill. Okay. Everyone's ready?
Yeah, so I'll just explain kind of the steps I took to get to my recommendation. I'll tell you what my recommendation is and then the steps that we take if you choose to execute that recommendation. So, you know, it was discussed that, and it's come up several times since I've been here anyway, about this clause that's dedicated to these bonds and how, you know, we are tied to that obligation. And we like these clauses for other things, quite frankly. So I was asked to look at our bonds, see what our options were for redemption or any sort of expedited exit to that arrangement. So my first step was just to look at the bond resolution and the bond document, determine if there was a option for redemption. The bond resolution does provide for an optional redemption. It covers a specific series of bonds, and we are within the time period where we can opt for this redemption. So I want to explain what that looks like and how we would go about it. So knowing that we have that option, then we say, well, can we even afford it? Because essentially what you're doing with a redemption is you're paying your debt early. It's like a prepayment of your debt. So you pay some interest on that, but you save all the interest you would have paid throughout that time period. So we look at, well, can we even afford to redeem any of this debt? So the bond resolution provides for redemption of $1.15 million. And so we've asked ourselves, do we have $1.15 million? And if we use our SPLOST money to pay that $1.15 million, do we have enough SPLOST money to continue paying the debt? So what I did was took our SPLOST balance, and we do have a balance that has been growing in our SPLOST account. The big reason is because we have been getting SPLOST revenue above and beyond what our debt service is on those 2012 bonds. So I'm just going to throw some numbers out. If our debt service is $300,000 and our revenue is $500,000, then you bank that $200,000, right? And each year that $200,000 grows until it's $1.15 million, and we can pay early debt. And that's exactly what has happened. So when I look at the balance that we have in our SPLOST account from the June and July ledger, we have sufficient funds to pay the early redemption. And if you project the revenue out at a conservative pace from now through scenario is, if we take what money we have in cash and we redeem these bonds early, it would essentially, if you look at page 2 of your memo, it would eliminate the debt service from 2028 to 2033. So we would eliminate 6 years of debt service by paying it early. What you do there is you effectively save those interest dollars during those years. So from 2028 to 2033, we would pay $156,500 in interest. So right off the bat, by paying that early, we saved that $156,000. You do pay a little bit of accrued interest, approximately $18,000, so that does erode that savings just a little bit, but still to come out with $138,000 in saved interest is pretty significant. What that would do, the bottom line is that effectively your debt would be paid on those 2012 bonds in 2027. And that would relieve you then, after that point, to use lost revenue for other purposes.
Rachel, first of all, thank you for doing this. What's the total amount that's still owed? Is it the $6,055,000?
Well, no, that was the total amount of the debt service.
Right.
So we would owe, if I provided you that number. That's what our existing balance is. I have to do a little bit of math, but essentially, I have to do some math for you on that.
All right, well,
But I can pull that.
yeah, you don't have to answer that right now then. So essentially, taking that cash, we're gonna be paid off in 2027.
Correct, yes, sir.
And from what you said, we still should have enough SPOS coming in to continue paying this. And then possibly a future council might be able to do the same thing again, correct? Maybe?
You only get this one option.
One option?
That's all the bond resolution permits.
Well, in my opinion, I'd like to see it done because that's 6 years along with, some interest that it's gonna come back to the city. And then the future mayor and council will have their hands tied for another 6 years.
But then this is utilizing the 2012 SPOS, but we have the 2018 that is dedicated to this too, is right, for payoff, or
This is considering all of your swap balances.
which,
So your 12, 18, and 23, you exhaust those over time. But this is taking all, the two bank accounts, for swap, there's 2018 funds and 2023 funds, that total just under 1.5 million. The payoff will take just under 1.2 million. So it will leave 300,000 of your, existing swap cash to pay continued debt service, and of course, we have revenue that will come in to add to that.
And I see no reason not to. That money is dedicated to it anyway.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There is really, it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, there really is no reason
There's
that I can think of
no
as to why
downside.
you would not do this.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
And if I could jump in, one question that I had, and I believe was Mike's question, and it's kind of the answer for me. The way that we worded the SPLOS agreement, the savings that we have, we can utilize that on actual sewer projects. We did not hire a hand by saying debt service. We said sewer projects. Debt service is part of that, but meaning by paying this off, you're freeing up the savings later to use for other actual tangible projects.
Yeah, wow.
It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's all the more reason why you word SPLOS project was wrong.
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
So the process to move forward is we've timed it so that if this is approved at the August meeting, at that August, 15th meeting, I will then send a, notice to our bond registrar, and we'll send out, intent notices to all the bond registrar, on the bond registrar list. And that will give, they have to provide, 30 to 60 days notice. And then we will be cutting a check, to pay off that debt, but we will do that by September 30th. So that's kind of the timeline we're working on.
That is exciting. I know that's been something you and I talked about a long time,
Mhm.
so, cool. and we just came to the maturity date, June 1. So it was very well timed. So, cool. Any other questions or concerns on reference to the bond? Okay. At this time, is there any citizen input on anything that we have discussed in this session?
How about the Bates Carter?
Okay. The, number 2 is we received a contract from Bates Carter yesterday afternoon. And they've technically already started to pull a lot of the preliminary information that's necessary to do the fiscal 23 audit. They've sent the contract over for consideration to allow them to do the fiscal 23 audit. The attorney was given a copy of that. He's had the honor of reviewing it. I take it no issues with it. So, but this would allow them to go ahead and proceed with the fiscal 23. And we are currently caught up. 23 would hopefully be done by December 31st. And if that's the case, that's 8 audits in 4 years. That's a phenomenal thing. So, any discussion on that? Okay. So that'll be on the 15th for a vote. No citizen input. Then I would ask for a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of personnel matters. Okay, we have a, all right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Okay. All right. We're gonna have to go to Public Works. Yeah.
Where we going?
There might be room.
Where we going?
I got a key to the private room.
No, we're not.
I think it's the top one. This one here, I believe.
I can double check it.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't mind the attention, what I don't like is the accusations. Okay, do I have a motion to go out of executive session, please? Okay, Ms. Hattie, who's the second? Okay, all those in favor? All right,
Mayor and the city council for the city stand adjourned into executive session to discuss matters, this and the specifically to discuss the employment, hiring, firing, periodic review of a city employee. No votes were taken during executive session. Copy the updated resolution.
thank you, Counselor. Nothing else to cover. May I have a motion to adjourn? All right, we'll give it to council. You're a second? You got the first. Okay, so all those in favor? All right, thank you.